All right, in this explainer, we're breaking down a viral YouTube video that makes some really big claims about Islam, jihad, and Sharia law down in Australia. Now, let's be clear, we're not here to agree or disagree with these claims. Our goal is just to deconstruct exactly how the argument is built piece by piece.
So, right off the bat, the video frames its entire argument around this one incredibly stark choice. It's a powerful question, you know? It's designed to create this sense of immediate urgency. So, let's unpack how the video builds its case to make this choice feel so absolutely critical.
Okay, let's dive right in. To really get what's going on, we have to start with the video's central claim, its core thesis.
The video kicks things off by arguing that a recent attack in Australia isn't some isolated event. Nope, it claims this is just one battle in a much bigger global jihad. The narrator even says, what starts with the Jews never ends with the Jews, framing this whole thing as an expanding threat to all non-Muslims, especially in the West.
So, how exactly does the video build this case? Well, its first line of evidence zeroes in on defining one very specific word, jihad. And to do that, it uses clips from sermons given by Imams in Australia.
And boom, right away, the source sets up this conflict between two different interpretations. On one side, you've got the common Western idea of jihad as this internal, personal struggle. But on the other side, you have what the video presents as its only true meaning, a physical, violent fight. By just tossing out that first interpretation, it forces the entire argument to focus only on the second one.
The video's first piece of evidence? It's this clip from an Imam. By highlighting the phrase, fighting in the path of Allah, and calling it the peak of jihad, the source uses this statement to really anchor its argument that jihad is, at its core, about physical combat.
And the source really hammers this point home, claiming it's not some metaphor. It makes a big deal about a clarification from the Imam in the clip, who apparently says he's not talking about an internal struggle, but the physical jihad against the enemies of Allah. This is presented as basically undeniable proof of a call for physical violence.
And to really double down on this idea, the video shows a second Imam saying that jihad is the solution and that Muslims are literally starving for jihad. This is used to paint a picture of jihad not just as a duty, but as something that's actively wanted, something people are aching for.
Next up, the source defines a key term for its audience, mujahideen. By translating it as fighters of jihad, or the army of jihad fighters, the video solidifies its argument that jihad should really be seen through a military lens.
Okay, let's follow the breadcrumbs. After defining jihad as a physical fight, the video then asks the next logical question. Why? Why is this fight supposedly necessary? What's the end goal?
And the source poses this question directly, framing it as the next step in its argument. And to answer it, the video rolls a clip from a third Australian Imam.
This quote is presented as the answer to why. The Imam says that Muslims have to believe in Sharia, but they should wait until they're in a state of strength before they start dealing with power. The video presents this as clear evidence of a patient, long-term strategy.
And here's where the source connects the dots. It explains that when the Imam mentions Khalifa, he's talking about a caliphate, a global Islamic state. This is a really crucial step in the argument, linking the goal of Sharia law to a much bigger geopolitical ambition.
The video then hones in on this statement from the same sermon, that helping a kafir against a fellow Muslim is haram, or forbidden. This is used to argue for a kind of absolute in-group loyalty that, in the video's view, has to come before any loyalty to a non-Muslim country like Australia.
And just to make sure the audience really gets the implication of that last quote, the narrator steps in to clearly define kafir as infidel, meaning any non-Muslim. This definition is so important because the source is about to use it to make the whole argument very personal.
So there you have it. This is how the source puts all the pieces together. It concludes that the ultimate objective, as laid out in these sermons, is to destabilize Australia and bring it under the authority of a global Islamic Caliphate.
From there, the argument takes a really crucial pivot. The source makes the case that this isn't about some distant conflict. It's about a much broader and much more personal target.
And this is the moment the argument is designed to hit home. The narrator emphasizes that the sermons use the word kafir, or infidel. Then they look right at the camera, addressing the viewer directly, and say, "That's you, by the way, that's you."
And to really ram this point home,
The video suddenly blows up the scope of the problem. It claims this isn't just an Australian issue or even just a Western issue. No, it's presented as this coordinated worldwide movement happening in Africa, Asia. It's happening all over the world. And this really lays out the historical frame the video is using. This isn't shown as some modern thing. The source claims this conflict kicked off 1,400 years ago and is still going today with one single goal: to take over the entire globe. That framing is key because it presents the issue as this ancient unbroken war.
Finally, the video brings us full circle, right back to its opening theme, wrapping up with a stark warning and a direct choice for you, the viewer, to make.
So that final choice? It's laid out as a dead simple binary with, life or death stakes. Option A, political correctness, leads to one result: you could wind up dead. Option B, confronting the problem, is presented as the only way you can remain alive. It's a classic rhetorical move, a false dichotomy that boils a complex issue down to a simple us or them choice.
And this really gets to the heart of the video's final argument. This assertion that not all cultures are compatible with Western civilization. The source presents this not as an opinion, but as a hard fact that you have to accept for your own safety.
So, by breaking this video down, we've seen how the argument is built, piece by piece, the specific evidence it uses, and the conclusion it's trying to lead you to. The entire story is designed to bring the viewer to this one final provocative question: what choice are you making?